Sailors are attempting to self-delete by jumping overboard the vessels that they are currently deployed on in this Iran war. And people ask me when I say that I think that the Pentagon is underreporting the number of casualties and injuries. Why wouldn't the families be saying something? Why wouldn't we hear more about this? And I think what people don't understand is the amount of contact that service members have with their family during conflict or during moments of war can be so infrequent. They may not hear from their loved ones for weeks or months, depending on the current conflict that they're experiencing or that they're, a part of. And if you read this article, you will see there are several mentions from the family members about how infrequent that contact is and about the fact that their loved ones sound depressed. They sound like something is wrong. They can't really say, but you can hear that something is not okay. And then to make matters worse, some of these sailors were supposed to already be home in May. It is now August, and they don't have a publicized return date for when their deployment is supposed to be finished. So they're trapped on these vessels, eating rations, not getting appropriate nutrition, limited contact to the outside world and to their family members, and they're experiencing warfare, hearing it all around them, all hours of the night. So what is their condition supposed to be? What do you expect to happen? And the Navy is not being forthcoming. They're not being forthright about the number of self-harm incidents that have been occurring on these vessels. Because why would they want that number to get out, right? Because we're winning.
This one made me sick, and it will you too. So sailors on a U.S. aircraft carrier are literally trying to jump off the ship, and the Navy has been denying that there's any problems at all since April. This is the USS Abraham Lincoln. This is a nuclear supercarrier out of San Diego, and it is now on the longest deployment for a modern carrier in history. A normal Navy carrier deployment runs about 6 to 7 months, and normally you would get a port call for a couple of days, roughly once a month, to decompress. The Lincoln left port last November. Trump and Netanyahu declared war on Iran, so the Navy directed it to the Middle East, and in over 8 months, it has touched land exactly twice. Once in Guam, where most sailors weren't even allowed off the ship, and once in Oman, where they were restricted to a secured compound. That is it. Over 250 days, breaking the modern record for consecutive days at sea without a real port call. That distinction matters because people are losing their minds. And we also know that they are not being properly cared for. In April, when families first started talking about food shortages and bad conditions, the Navy's official response in writing on X was that the reports were false, that the ship had sufficient food. By August, now, Military Times and Stars and Stripes had multiple sailors and family members on record describing hellish conditions. One wife says she got a call that her husband tried to jump overboard. He's now on medical hold, and she hasn't heard from the Navy since. Another sailor physically stopped a shipmate from jumping. Stars and Stripes reported a parent saying their son told them that he and his shipmates, quote, constantly think about jumping off the ship just for relief. That is awful. Now, over 200 family members just showed up to a meeting with the acting Secretary of the Navy to demand answers. The Navy Admiral finally admitted on the record that the deployment is affecting sailors' health. So the Navy's plan now is to send the USS Theodore Roosevelt to relieve the Lincoln, but they won't say when. And this is just unacceptable treatment by the military. Since April, they've been denying anything was happening, and now in August, here we are, sailors are trying to jump off a moving aircraft carrier. And nobody senior enough to fix it acted until families literally went to the press. This is what happens when the chain of command is too busy pushing testosterone shots to actually care for its service members. And when leadership is too dishonest to admit when it's screwing up and rejects competency over zealotry. If this makes you as angry as it makes me, call your representatives today. Ask them two things. First, to relieve the Lincoln's crew now. No more extensions. And second, demand accountability for how Secretary Hegseth has handled this. Because it's not enough to just say thank you for your service. After all, gratitude is more than just lip service. It's an action. It's also care. And right now, our service members are getting anything but.
Shalom, shalom Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all Honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawah Hashem, Yahawashi Hashem, Rakwah Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, Shalom to mighty Akim, Wakwathium, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this foul captivity, as well as the speckled bird that may look like the other nations, but are actually Yasharala. This is Brother Caldwell coming at you with another lesson. Today's lesson is going to be on this, and right quickly, I want to point out that me personally, I'm not really pushing for this. I just saw this and I thought, okay, you know what? This is definitely fucked up, and this is a great way to kind of point out a lesson that I think is very important. But if you feel like you want to do this, sure, go ahead. But I'm not telling you to go and do this or not, regardless of if you have people you have family member that is in the American Navy, sailor, whatever the fuck, and stuff like that. I don't know. It's lucky. I mean, I don't know. Now it's lucky. It's not that I don't know. I meant to say I am not really a part of this. Okay, 'cause I don't want to be a part of this and all that stuff. But I will definitely say that this is a perfect example, because I'm taking this as like a journalism type, educational purposes type shit, where I'm trying to push out a lesson. All right, a lesson of basically choose properly who you want in your corner, rather than just going along with whomever or whatever. All right, you wouldn't follow someone that you know is going to get you killed. Like, for example, if you were smart and you lived in Gotham, you know damn well you would not work for Joker, because that man is going to kill your ass. All right, he will literally kill you for the simplest things or whatever. Like, that's the type of stuff that's like that common sense that's in your mind. Like, okay, what? Let me stay away from this terrible person. Which, by the way, that just goes to show just how that's just absolute fiction. Because if the Joker was real and everyone knew about him, he would never have any employees, quote unquote employees, or thugs working under him, because they would have all left his ass or killed him, because he's just not reliable. Like, you're not going to get paid for working under him. So it's just like, why would you? Anyway, Slocky, about that fucking for getting sidetracked. But my main thing is just, I'm trying to point out that for this, it's hell, as a matter of fact, it's kind of funny that I bring up the Joker, because this is damn near that same example. Like, you see these people. Well, I guess never Slocky. I guess I stand corrected. If the Joker was real and he was killing people, there would be people working for him, because that's just people in general. People flock to these crazy people and they worship evil and wicked. All right. Judges chapter 10 verse 14, go inquire to the gods which ye have chosen, let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation. Where you have these people that are so faithful to someone, and you know, that's another thing. I don't which they do a lot in these zombie movies, where people say, oh, we just need to wait for the government, we need to trust the government, they're gonna save us, they're gonna do this and the third or whatever. And after all that stuff, you know, the government just doesn't do anything. The government leaves them to die and whatever. Like, and it's funny to me, because that's a trend, a common trend that people basically, most people basically acknowledge and understand. Like, yeah, if something bad were to happen in, I'll say North America, or I don't even want to say just North America, but in every places in general, in every country in general, I'm pretty sure that most governments, I'm not going to say all, because I don't know about the other governments, but I'm pretty sure most governments that are primarily ruled by Europeans, or one of the NATO stuff, or one of the European Union or something like that. All right, I don't know. But most of these things, including China and Japan that I know of, if something like that were to have happened, if there was some national security, then they would not try to save their citizens, there would not be any effort put in towards that. So the people have so much faith in these avenues of power, but when actual trouble comes, then you're not there. And you have these people that have been on ships. I forgot how many days was it. It was 200, I think.
Supercarrier out of San Diego, and it is now on the longest deployment for a modern carrier in history.
It's
a normal
something.
Navy carrier deployment runs about 6 to 7 months, and normally you would get a port call for a couple of days, roughly
November,
once
right?
a month, to decompress. The Lincoln left port last November. Trump and Netanyahu declared war on Iran, so the Navy directed it to the Middle East, and in over 8 months, it has touched land exactly twice.
All right, so in 8 months, Slack, I don't know where I got 200 from, but basically, basically that's the thing where these people, they're working for them. They're thinking, oh yeah, everything's good. We're part of the military. We're the greatest superpower ever. Like nothing bad's gonna happen. X, Y, and Z, because we have America backing us on our side or whatever. And then lo and behold, look at this. They don't even give a damn about relieving you. They don't give a damn about making things better. They are leaving you out there. You got what? You guys reached land, and then one of the times you weren't even able to get off land. And like, this is who you're trusting. This is who you're putting your trust in your life on. And then now you have people that are trying to disconnect from the server. All right. Sirach chapter 4 verse 27. Make not thyself an underling to a foolish man, neither accept the person of the mighty. All right. These people, they chose to follow along with not just Esau, but Babylon in general. They follow Babylon, and now they're suffering the results of it, where you got these people that are trying to leave their families like permanently as a result of their deteriorating mental conditions. All right, so as a result of that, this is why it is a terrible thing to be following these devils. All right, and just in general, being a part of the military. But another thing here, I kind of want to point this out, was what happened here. I'm not gonna do it. But basically, this goes on. What happened here? I was gonna keep on watching it, but I just thought, okay, whatever. It's not really that important. But basically, they just got this and publicized this just to go on a glaze spree for DJT for some odd reason, despite all the fuck ups that he's done in ruining people's lives and stuff like that. And that doesn't just sit for the Navy, the sailors, but it also sits for the American people, and honestly more, because of how terrible, and also the Iranians and more, where people are suffering as a result of this. So like, it's just like, how are you guys are glazing him, saying, oh, he did this, he did that, you're such an amazing president, you're the greatest, X, Y, and Z, stuff like that. It's like, who well, I do know who he's fooling. He's fooling the blind followers. No one really understands like what's going on. The people who don't have the brain power to comprehend how much he has done negatively in not just their lives, but the lives of other people in general, for his terrible leadership. All right. So as a result of that, that's where I was kind of pushing all this, not necessarily pushing all this, but showing you just how terrible leadership or how terrible one's lives can be ruined through bad leadership. All right. Now let's continue on. Matthew 15:14, let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind, and if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Or all right, let me not make fucked up jokes, but basically, you see the blind leading the blind, and they're falling into a metaphorical ditch where it might be death, it might be, some sort of things where, there are a lot of people that died, let me correct myself, a lot of American people more specifically that had died as a result of the war with Iran. All right, there was a bunch of stuff that was going on, there's a bunch of stuff that was happening, and again, it doesn't matter. They're like, these people are expendable to them. All right, so it's pretty fucked up. All right, Job chapter 9 verse 24: the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the face of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So here we see that, the wicked is in charge and he's abusing his power and getting people killed. All right, you shouldn't. You're putting your life in the hands of this man, and what is he doing as a result of it? What is he doing with your life, treating your life as something that's expendable or just simply a tool? All right, Job 13 verse 4: but ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. These people are lying, making all these promises and then not doing anything. We're gonna do it. It's gonna be fine. Because that's basically what she was saying. She was saying that, we're going to address it, we're fixing it, we're gonna do all this stuff, but they're still stalling and stuff like that. They're not letting these people go home or whatever. It's just we're keeping them suffering, and apparently there's that claim that there's no food. All right. So it was pretty fucked up, but I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHEM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHEM, RICANS, double honor to the elders and apostles, great mill, son of God, Shalom.